in the Indian Constitution, there is no mention of the term basic structure. It has come to its existence through a series of judgments. The doctrine mentions the amendments that can be made in the Constitution without hampering that basic structure. The subject matter under which the basic structure doctrine include: number one is the rule of law. Number two, the separation of power between center and the state. Number three is the balance between fundamental rights and fundamental duties, or the directive principles of the state policy. Number four is right to have fair and free election. Number five, the parliamentary system of the government. Number six is powers of the Supreme Court under Article 32, 142, 147, 136 of the Indian Constitution. Number seven is the power of High Court under Article 226 and 227 of the Constitution. Number 8 is Article 14, which is right to equality. Number 9 is limited power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution. Number 10, unity and integrity of the nation. Number 11, secularism and socialism. Number 12 is the preamble itself. Now we should discuss how the basic structure doctrine has evolved in the Indian Constitution. The first mention of the basic structure doctrine came in the limelight in the Keshav Nanda Bharati case, which states that the basic structure doctrine cannot be abrogated even through a constitutional amendment. The Supreme Court suggested a few basic structures like free and fair elections, separation of power, parliamentary form of government, etc. In the case of Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan, which curtailed the power of the judicial review by the courts, which stated that the Prime Minister, Vice President, Speaker are beyond the scope of judicial review. The court in this case, while pronouncing the judgment on the basic structure doctrine, held that it was beyond the Parliament amending power and therefore it was struck down. In another case of Minerva Mills, the Supreme Court added a new clause to the basic structure doctrine, that was judicial review and harmony between fundamental rights and directive principles of the state policy. In this case, the court also held that the limited amending power of the Parliament is a part of basic structure doctrine. In Indira Sawhney's case, the Supreme Court inserted various grounds for the implementation of reservation like the creamy layer, 50% restrictions, etc. And the rule of law was inserted in the basic structure doctrine. Unity and integrity of the nation, federal structure, secularism, socialism were inserted by the court through this case. In R. Bommai case, the Supreme Court through this case inserted preamble in the basic structure doctrine, because preamble also as a guiding lamp for the legislature to interpret the Constitution. Thank you. This was all about the basic structure doctrine and how various things came within the purview of basic structure doctrine of the Constitution, and how the legislature can amend the basic structure of the Constitution. And in the recent times, a petition has been filed in the Supreme Court to remove socialism and secularism from the Constitution and the preamble. But as earlier mentioned, secularism and socialism are a part of basic structure doctrine as inserted by the Indira Sawhney case. So it's gonna be a interesting thing to see how the Supreme Court